Hello everyone, today we will be playing TerraFirmaGreg. Let's go. We start by collecting some stones off the floor. We use that to make some basic stone tools. After settling down, I quickly progressed through to the steam age. A bit of shenanigans later, and I am now on the moon. Here is my base. Let me turn around. Here is my base after a bit of tweaking. After optimizing my setup, I made some cheap fusion towers and some agruahigriodrigfiojat.
What? I didn't do this. Who put this here? Hey! Anyways, welcome to Season 2 of TerraFirmaGreg, Minecraft's most realistic mod pack. This is technically a sequel to my TFG series I made a while ago on a newer version with a bunch more content. We have fission reactors, guns, interplanetary colonization, airplanes, drug addiction, and trains. But all of that fun stuff is in the near future. Right now, I just have a coke oven and some boring iron tools. So, I think we ought to start with upgrading to the beautiful Bessemer grade steel. Take it away, live action Dewey. Thank you, editing Dewey. As you guys can see, I am currently lost in a cave. My main objective is to make a blast furnace. This needs a whole bunch of wrought iron and another crucible, as well as a bunch of fire bricks, which needs a bunch of kaolinite and graphite, all of which I don't have. So I'm in this cave. I always forget you can please make. Cool. Some cheap graphite for the taking. Nice. I gotta go back up. I didn't show you guys my house yet. So here's the entrance to the beneath. My house is still unfinished. Also, what's a cool thing is if you can do that. That's cool. Where I keep my food, bed, a bunch of random stuff. Bloomery, charcoal forge, crucible, coke oven, a bunch of creosote. Few machines. I have a water wheel and a millstone. They made create really tedious. Like normally this would be spinning at like, I think like 16 RPM. I think it's spinning at like, it's like spinning at like 4 now. Probably not even. Alright, some more food. A thing of water. Probably gonna be suffering later. Whatever. Isn't this the FaZe Clan logo? I don't care. Isn't your stock in like $? Axolotl. I wish I had a bucket. You would be mine. Is that a blue axolotl? Wait, is it? Are you blue?
Why are you blue?
I'm pretty sure that's blue. Never mind. This is just another variant, not the blue one. Hyped myself up for nothing. Wait, here it is. Finally. Kaolin clay. No! Yellow axolotl. Then more kaolin clay. After a bit of mining, I got over near 11 stacks, I'm pretty sure, of kaolin clay. This should be enough to get to steel. Why can't I think right now? What are you doing? Damn, another FaZe Clan logo. More kaolin clay. Guess I'm just getting really lucky, or this dimension is supremely overpowered. Whee! Okay. Many hours later, all my kaolin clay has been processed. 3 and a little bit stacks, along with a bit of graphite. 27, another crucible. So I need half a stack of wrought iron bars, along with the plates that are gonna go on the side of this thing, which is another 24. That means this bloomery is gonna work like a New England textile worker in the 1800s. Okay, so before I go into that big wrought iron smelting montage for the blast furnace, I actually want to make a grappling hook. I realize this is super cheap at the moment, needing a bunch of flax tow fibers. and a single iron ingot, and this will help me a bunch in the beneath, and just in general, just traveling. So I think I'm just gonna make that now. 3, that. Bingo. Boom. Like that. Boom. This is weird. Damn. I have a bit of pre-made wrought iron and a lot of pyrite dust. Actually probably won't be enough. I'm gonna need a lot of batches. I think this makes 21 ingots. So I think I need about 3 batches worth. Alright, time for the infamous glass furnace smelting montage. Glass furnace making montage. And oh, wait. I finally have queens in these hives. It only took me like a year. This took me a year because okay, tangent aside. Oh wait, they're what? They're little bees. Like, these weren't in the original version, but they're so cute. Anyways, back to the montage. Alright, editing Dewey here, and I'll be honest, this montage is pretty boring. It's literally just me smelting iron over and over again, which doesn't make for interesting content. So while past Dewey acts like a mountain dwarf making the blast furnace, I thought I might as well explain how said blast furnace works, because why not? Real life steelmaking starts by making a tall clay smelter with little air pockets at the bottom in order to pump oxygen in. The tuyere, which is actually how it's pronounced, I think it's French, is then used to supercharge the oxygen intake. Then, the coal, flux, and crushed up iron ore is added, which is then subsequently melted into a goop. This melted goop is the first stage of steelmaking. Pig iron. Why is there flux in here? Well, flux is used to basically eat all the nasty stuff that would make the final product impure. When heated up, they take those impurities and drag them to the outside of the liquid metal to be easily removed. This mess of impurities is what makes slag. In steelmaking, the flux removes those nasty compounds and replaces it with carbon, which in turn makes high carbon steel out of the pig iron. When the high C goop is fully made, it's really hammered down and refined into top grade steel. Anyways, that's been learning time with Dewey. Now back to your regularly scheduled gregging. There we go. Finally, this took me forever. Behold, my 8 steel at a time blast furnace. I probably need to make it, I think, like 2 higher for the max, but this should suffice for now. Oh, I forgot the this thing. Okay, now it's fully operational. I think this is why I made that coke oven, or this is why, because this needs coke, not normal charcoal. Oh, I also forgot to mention, the reason I have conifer resin, or rosin, is that I'm tapping trees. Like this. Conifer resin is a substitute for beeswax, since beeswax is pretty slow to generate. I mean, this is also slow to generate, but I'm pretty sure year-round, so it's just better in general. And I'm using this rosin to make waterproof hide, which is then used to make a kayak or very fast and cheap water transportation. Dude, I made these sandwiches and these give back a heart each. Oh, that time it wasn't a full heart, but gave me that whole heart just from one sandwich. It's crazy. A kayak. Okay, so I think I need more iron. I need a lot more iron. I don't have that much left to make a bunch of steel. So, I mean, I have a bit of wrought iron, but I'm not using wrought iron to make steel because that seems very expensive. What the? Dude, I didn't know there were piglin down there. Can you stop? Can you stop? I'm dead. I'm dead. What? Why are they so aggressive? God. Let me kill that Clays. Are you deadly? You are deadly. Wow, you're annoying. Is that a wither skeleton? Of course I have to change it to anthracite. Why not? Isn't anthracite like worse than coal in real life? Stop running. You are such a weird mob. Here we go. Finally. Pyrite. Front of lava. Speaking of lava. Tangent aside, let me get back to what I actually came here for. Iron. You gotta be... I feel like I should make a gun. Okay, I did some off-camera mining. Actual mining this time, not anything fake. It was a lot of sulfur and sphalerite, but I did get a bit of, you know, what I actually came here for amidst a lot of deaths. So now I think I'm just gonna process this off. What the... I'm not talking about that. Oh my god. Ow. We will never speak of this again. No way. I might be the worst modded Minecraft player of all time. Oh my god. Didn't know this dimension was like a horror game. Do you even have Elytra? Wait, I can make a bed finally. Thank god. Alright. It's been a few days since I've last recorded the last bit, and I did a few things, nothing too major. I made myself a backpack just for a bunch of extra storage, which is very nice. I spent way too much time finding or searching for kaolinite for faster smelting when I stopped procrastinating smelting my steel. I also realized how this thing actually works. I just have to throw it on and not put it here, but now it's slowly processing. I'm also a bit of glass making, nothing too major. That's basically it. Alright, time to actually start making steel. After much delay, I can finally make this. Steel time. First batch is done. First batch of pig iron. Nice. I feel like I'm talking very quietly. I don't really like talking like how YouTubers normally would talk. Alright, let's hammer this down. Boom. First steel ingot. This is really hot. No. Oh god. No. It's not. I would say I promise I won't let that happen again, but I can't make any promises anymore. I will probably mess up again. Okay, I don't know why I remembered this, but I guess this will be a story time as I make steel. So like, in like 4th or 5th grade, I was learning like PEMDAS and like just those basic math stuff. I'll never forget like my math teacher, to help us like remember it, was like, please excuse our dear Aunt Sally. And then I specifically remember it, like, she was like, my Aunt Sally, yeah, she's a little loopy or something. I'm thinking about it now, and it's like, did she just make like drug reference in an elementary school class? There we go. Finally, only took a few days worth of procrastinating. Alright, so a good like 30 minutes later, just processing the rest of what I made. I have 29 extra steel ingots, and I also made a bunch into tools. I didn't realize mining hammers were only 2 ingots worth of stuff. I thought it was the normal like GT recipe, which would normally be 12 ingots as for right now. Also pickaxe, saw, spade, prospector pick, tongs. Basically it. Okay, so what I think I want to do now is I've been reading the quest book for a little bit, and I didn't realize automating pig iron at least is super easy. I probably should start automating a bit. Like, I definitely need iron. Definitely need to automate iron and steel. I kind of want to make a separate building for that. Maybe like right here. But I think that's where I'm going to wrap up today's episode, or the first episode of TerraFirmaGreg Season 2. Next episode will probably be ore processing. I have way too many ores I have to go through, and this is my entire ore washing setup. Pretty lackluster. So I think that's going to involve making a whole new building. Maybe... And then, since we're in the spirit of building, I kind of want to make a bee garden just for these bees, because right now it just kind of looks stupid. But anyways, the sun's going down. Hope you guys enjoyed. Hope you guys like it. Hopefully you guys like this new series I'm making between my smart sounding videos, the particle physics explanatory whatever. If you haven't seen those, obviously I must plug in my videos. Go check them out. But yeah, that's gonna do it. Have a good day, guys. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.